Okay, this is a word problem we did in class that a lot of you found confusing, so I'm doing it again here just to clarify. This is a question having to do with percents. There are 200 students at the school dance. 55% of them are girls. Some of the girls leave the dance early. After they leave, only 40% of them are girls. How many girls are left at the dance? You can think of this question in two parts. The first part I underlined in blue. There are 200 students and 55% of them are girls. The second part I underlined in green. Some of the girls leave the dance. After they leave, only 40% of the students at the dance are girls. How many girls are left? Let's set up our known and our unknown for the first part. Known. What do I know about the part in blue? There's 200 students and 55% of them are girls, but I don't know how many that is. A lot of you didn't understand how I set up this relationship in class. If you remember the notes about percentages, you'll remember that is over of equals percent over 100. I need to know what is, that's why the question mark is here, what is 55% of 200. Make sense? What is, that's why there's a question mark, what is 55% of 200? I want to know how many girls are there to begin with, right? What's my unknown? My unknown is that question mark. The number of girls. So let's solve this equation right here. I'll rewrite it. Question mark over 200 is 55 over 100. You need to cross multiply. This is going to go over here. This stays the same. Remember, every single time you solve an equation, work vertically. Do not start working across. You're going to get confused if you start working across. Work vertically. You're going to copy the equal sign immediately under where it started out. And keep the terms that start out on the left and right sides, keep them on the left and right sides the whole time. That means, what did I change here? I changed the 200 and I moved it up to the right side for cross multiplication, right? So the 200 goes up there. 55 times 200. I didn't change anything else yet. So every other term in this expression gets copied right where it started from. The question mark stays there. The 100 stays there. The only thing that moved was the 200 to the numerator of the other side. Let's keep going. Question mark equals 55 times 200. What's 2 times 55? It's 110 and 2 more zeros over 100. Don't waste your time doing the long division. This is going to waste your time. 11,000 divided by 100. Don't waste your time. Just move 2 decimal places this way and 2 decimal places this way. In other words, cross off the last 2 zeros. you end up with question mark equals 110. 110 what? 110 girls at the party to begin with. Not at the end of the whole question. That's just how many started at the dance when there was 200 students. Okay? I'm going to erase this and move on to the second part of the question. Okay. I'm going to switch to green so you can see that I'm on the second part now. Known. What do we know? 55 girls start at the dance. That's what we just solved for. 55. Oh, I'm sorry. 110. It's 55%, but it's 110 girls start at the dance. Out of 200 students, if 110 of them are girls, how many are boys? 110. Whoops. 200 minus 110 is 90. 90 boys. 90 boys start at the dance. Now, the question says some of the girls leave. Some of the girls. It doesn't say anything about boys leaving. So when you do the rest of your calculations, this number of boys is not going to change. No boys left the dance. Out of 200 students that started there, 90 boys started there and 90 boys finished. What else do we know? We also know 40% of the students left at the dance were girls. 40% girls left. Girls are left. Not 40% of them went home. 40% of them are still at the dance. Okay, unknown. I don't know how many girls represent 40%. I don't know. I'm going to find out. If 40% of a group of people are girls, how many are boys? %40 are girls, 60% are boys. Don't get confused. I'm talking about the green part of the question now. If 40% of the kids that are left at the dance are girls, then 60% of them are boys now. And remember I told you the number of boys does not change because none of them left early. They all stayed at the dance. So 60% is 90 boys. I just don't know out of how many. 90 boys are 60% of what? I don't know, because some people left. So let's set up our is over of. $90 is 60% of, I don't know. Let's cross multiply. The 100 is going to come over here. The question mark is going to come over here. Remember, every time you solve an equation, copy the equal sign exactly underneath where it started out. Keep all the terms that start on the right side, keep them on the right side unless you're doing something with them. All the terms that start out on the left side, keep them on the left side unless you're doing something with them. The question mark, I moved it up here, so I need to do that. 60 times question mark. 100. What did I do to the 100? I moved it over here. 90 times 100. Let's keep going. $90 times 100 is 9,000. In order to isolate the unknown factor, we have to move this 60 to the other side of the equal sign. Anytime we move a number from one side of the equal sign to the other side of the equal sign, we reverse the operation. So instead of times 60, it's going to be divided by 60 equals question mark. Let's do some quick division. 900 divided by 6. 6 goes into 9 once, with 3 left over. 6 goes into 30 5 times. With nothing left over, 6 goes into 0 0 times. With nothing left over. 150. What? 150 people in total are left at the dance. Remember, we started with 200 people at the dance. Some of the girls left, and now we have a total of 150 people at the dance. 90 of which are boys, because none of the boys left. They're all still there. The ones that started there are still there. 150 total people, 90 of which are boys. 150 total people, 90 of which are boys. How do I figure out girls from that? 150 total people minus 90 boys equals 60 girls are left at the dance. Here's your final answer. Let's check my work. How can I check if I'm right? Let's look back at the question for a clue. The last question was 40% of the students at the dance are girls. How many girls are left? I need to make sure that it's true that 60 out of 150 people is actually 40%, like the question says. So let's make sure I can solve for this question mark and still get 40%, because 40% of them are girls. I think there's 60 girls out of 150. I need to make sure what I think is true. Cross multiply this way. Here, let me label this. This is the checking process. I already found the answer. This is the checking process. Move that there. Make sure you copy your equal sign exactly underneath where it started from. Move the term you want to move. Keep everything else the same. 100 times 60 is 6,000. Over 150 equals question mark. Let's cross out our ending zeros. Do some long division over here. 15 goes into 60. How many times? 4 times. It goes in evenly with nothing left over. 15 goes into 0 0 times with nothing left over. 40 what? 40%. I just proved that it's true that 60 girls is 40% of 150 total people. I'll say it again. I just proved that 60 girls is 40% of 150 total people. Therefore, my answer is correct. The final answer is 60 girls are left.